What's up guys? In this video, you're gonna learn why poker feels dangerous to your body. Now make sure you stick around to the end of this video as I have a special announcement to make about some spots that have become available in my signature poker athlete program. If you're someone who really wants to level up your skills in a group coaching environment, check that out at the end of this video. Alright, so let's talk about why poker feels dangerous to your body. Now, we could argue we're sat either in the casino playing poker or at our computers playing poker. We're pretty safe, right? There's no dangers that are really going to threaten us. However, the body is perceiving it very, very different. So to understand what's going on, we need to realize that our body is generally a survival mechanism, all right? It's trying to scan our environment through our senses and answer a question. Am I safe or am I unsafe, all right? Now, things that could threaten you aren't just physical, all right? So back in our hunter and gatherer days, the threats that we received were generally to our lives. It would be a predator that could jump out. It could be a person trying to attack us in a kind of civil environment. And generally the risks were very physical. So we got this response, danger, respond very physically, all right? And this kind of threat response would be triggered. However, in the modern world, we get triggered in the same way. The same response happens in the body, which we'll talk about in a second, but it happens through different mechanisms, all right? So when you're playing poker, why does it feel dangerous? Well, first of all, there's two things that can be threatened, all right? The first of those is our ego, all right? Our ego is a construct we create of ourselves, and if we feel, for example, that we could look stupid, that we could be in an uncomfortable situation, that something unpredictable is going to happen and I might not know how to react. All of these things cause a threat, all right? I'm under threat. My ego, my construct of myself is under threat, all right? Any of you guys had that? And you guys been in a situation where you felt, I could look stupid here. What if I make a mistake and I don't know what to do? All of these things are threats to the ego, all right? Then we have threats to our resources. As a poker player, pretty obvious what that resource is, right? It's generally money, all right? Or it's our time allocation and we feel like we've wasted time. But most of the time it's going to come from money's on the line, all right? And if we make a mistake, it's going to cost us valuable resources that could help our survival, all right? So as a species, we always go back to the same kind of hierarchy. Is this going to help me to survive? If it is, it's valuable. And if it's threatened, I want to worry about it, all right? So when it comes to poker, it's generally your ego is under threat or your resources, all right? Now, a million situations can trigger these responses. Any hand you're playing, you could lose money, right? So you can see why that's going to create a response. Now, what your body is doing with a almost like subconscious program, it's scanning all the information from your environment, and then through this process called neuroception, it is literally saying, is my environment safe or unsafe? Is everything that's happening now, is something on the line threatening me or my survival, or is it safe? If it's safe, awesome, you go on with your business and life is good. However, if that unsafe button is triggered, so imagine a button, unsafe, getting pressed, it sets off a cascade of events. So what are those events? The body responds by mobilizing energy, all right? So if you're under threat, imagine it was back in the day and we were in the savannah and a tiger jumps out. What do you want to be able to do in that scenario? You want to be able to mobilize energy so that you can escape the predator, right? You want to be able to either run, fight it, or do something that allows you to handle that situation. Now, it's exactly the same response that happens now. Only difference is it's the ego and the resources that are under threat, but the same response is mobilize energy, all right? We mobilize energy by releasing cortisol, by releasing adrenaline, by pumping more blood flow to the mind and to the limbs to be able to mobilize energy. So have you guys ever been there at the poker tables when you have this response in the body? Heart rate's going, adrenaline's pumping, cortisol's going for your body, all right? This is because your mind or your body has triggered unsafe. Unsafe has been triggered, all right? Now, the goal is not to stop this, all right? So just the main thing I want to take away from this video is you do not want to stop this process. If you want to stop this process, go live in a cave somewhere, do not interact with life, never play a hand of poker again, and just forget about doing anything that is high stress, that things could be on the line. However, we don't want to live that life, right? We want to be able to function and actually thrive in a high stakes environment, all right? So what we need to realize is when the body triggers this unsafe response, it mobilizes energy, and that can actually be a good thing, all right? So as I talked about before, back in the day, that would allow us to escape from predators, escape from prey. Now, when we're playing poker and we're feeling a threat response, we've still got extra energy. We've got more adrenaline in the body, more cortisol, we've got more blood flow to the brain. All these are great if you want to make good decisions. The problem is when the response in the body happens, the mind often freaks out. The mind goes, oh shit, it can't handle this high activation state, all right? So what we need to do, we need to train ourselves, all right? I have a whole skill in my Poker Athlete program called Stress Mastery, where you train yourself every day to activate the stress response in the body. The threat response is the stress response, is the same thing, and you get comfortable by keeping the mind calm. You keep the mind calm whilst the body is activated, all right? So how do you do this? You can train this mechanism actually very quickly outside of game and have really, really good benefits. All right, so after I finish this video, the first thing I'm gonna do is go for a run, then I'm gonna go into a sauna, and then I'm gonna go into a cold plunge pool. All right, and this cold plunge pool is about 1 degree Celsius. All right, now when I go into this cold water, I know exactly what's gonna happen. My body is gonna freak out and it will release a lot of adrenaline, a lot of cortisol. I will notice that as increased heart rate and a shortness of breath, almost like hyperventilating, all right? A classic kind of stress response. Now, if I do nothing and just let my body freak out, very quickly the mind gets active and says, Adam, get out of here, this is dangerous. Get the hell out of the cold water, your survival is on the line, all right? Because we treat a cold exposure can be treated as a threat to our survival. However, if I get good at slowing down my breath and I teach my body that I'm okay, I do that by slowing the breath down, 5 seconds inhale, 5 seconds exhale, I can train myself to keep the mind calm whilst the body freaks out. So it's high heart rate still elevated, cortisol in the body, adrenaline in the body, but by keeping the mind calm when the body's freaking out, I now have this almost like superpower where I'm highly activated, I've got this mobilized energy, but the mind is calm. And that is where the peak performance happens. That is where you're able to perform at your best because you have heightened activation, but the mind is in this zen-like calm state. This is where elite performers are, in sport in particular. When you see people playing amazing under pressure, they have this heightened activation and their mind is calm and they're able to access higher levels by using that response. So you, as a poker player, you need to get comfortable with this unsafe button getting triggered. You need to get comfortable with the body responding to the stress of being a poker player and it being classed as dangerous to the body. You've got to acknowledge that and you've got to train the mind to stay calm whilst the body is activated. If you can do that, if you can train those and join those together, the mind and body activation, you tap into a whole new level, all right? And this is this mistake a lot of players make. They try to nullify the stress response. They do not like how the stress response feels. They do not like it when their body's triggering this danger response. And as a result, the mind freaks out. All right, so for example, let's say an opponent puts me in a tough river spot. Now that's going to create a heightened response in the body. If I'm okay with that and I can acknowledge, my body's getting activated, this is a good thing. This is going to allow me to access more blood flow to the brain. I've got more adrenaline going to access more energy. This is a good thing. And I acknowledge that with my mind, I can start to feel back connected and the mind doesn't freak out. On the flip side, if I go, holy shit, I feel stressed out, I feel annoyed right now, and allow that process to run out, all of a sudden my mind freaks out and I lose my shit, all right? So, just to summarize, note that you're going to feel this trigger response, this threat response in poker feeling dangerous often. As soon as your ego is threatened or your resources on the line, it's going to feel that way. The goal is to train yourself to feel comfortable with that happening in your body by keeping the mind calm. You do that by slowing down your breathing. You can do this in-game every single day, and you can also do it out of game with things like cold exposure or any sort of stress that you're putting yourself artificially. All right, guys? So hopefully that shows you why poker can feel dangerous, even though you're sat at the computer or sat at the casino. Now, if you're a poker player who really wants to get good at thriving in a high-pressure environment, and you want to bring out your best performance under pressure, and you want to train that skill, I have a program called the Poker Athlete, which is becoming available for 10 players to go through in April. So if you're watching this after April, you probably missed that opportunity, but I'm going to be taking on 10 players and coaching them through 8 skills needed for elite poker performance. One of them is the stress mastery skill set, and the 7 other skills that you'll learn about as well. If that's interesting to you, click on the link in the description. There's a page there which tells you all about the program, how it works, and see if it's a good fit for you. If it is, click the apply button, fill out the application, and I'll be in touch to pick the 10 players who are suitable. Alright guys, that's all for today's video. Smash the like button before you go, and there'll be more videos coming from me very soon.